In today's English lesson, we are going to read a very important news article together. This advanced lesson will focus on very essential vocabulary and grammar you need to know, not only to fully to understand this article but to participate in the culture of English speaking world. We analyze each paragraph. Finally, at the end of the lesson, we read article so that you can understand the best pronunciations and intonations. So welcome back to Smile English Learn. Of course, I am Zeeshan. So get less started. That first headlines is that as a child psychiatric, I see what smartphones are doing to kids' mental health and it's terrifying. The online world is forcing children to grow up before they are ready and parents needs government's help to combat its harm. That important word is that psychiatrics. Terrifying is forcing to grow up, combat its harms. A psychiatric is a known a medical doctor specializing in the diagnosis, treatment, or prevention of mental health and emotion disorder. Terrifying is an adjective that very frightening, a terrifying experience ordeal. Forcing is a verb that to make someone do something against their will. For example, the teacher accused the students of forcing others to do their homework. Grow up is a verb phrase that it means to mature physically or emotionally or mentally. For example, she is growing up to be a confident young woman. Combat is a noun, fighting or violence, especially between armed forces. For example, the combat lasted for hours with both sides suffering heavy losses. Harms is a noun. Damage, injury, or negative consequences inflicted on someone or something. For example, the company negligence accused significant harms to the environment. That first paragraph, smartphone use among children has reached a critical moment. Many of us in the UK increasingly aware of the danger associated with them as a child and adolescent psychiatric. I am more worried than most. I am witnessing at first hand the sheer devastation that smartphone use is wreaking on our young people mental health. The majority of children over 10 I see at my NHS clinic have a smartphones as increasingly large proportion of patients have difficulties that are related to or exacerbated by their use of technology. That important word is that reached critical moment increasingly aware of associated with adolescent witnessing sheer devastations racking majority proportions related to and exacerbated. Reached is a verb that was past tense. It means to extend or stretch to something. She reached for the top self. Critical moment. is a noun phrase, a decisive of crucial moment in time when a decision, actions, event or can have a significant impact of consequences. The surgeons had to make a quick decisions at a critical moment, save the patient life. Increasingly is a verb that increasing in amount or intensity, more and more. Aware of is a having knowledge or understanding of something. For example, in I am aware of the change in the company policy. Associate with is having a connection, relationship or link with something or someone. The company is associated with several charitable organizations. Adolescent is a young, worried is an anxious, apprehensions, fearful. Witnessing is a verb that seeing or observing something happen. For example, I am witnessing the accident when it happened. Sheer is an adjective, very thin or transparent. Sheer contains filtered or sunlight. Devastation is widespread or distractions or damage. For example, the hurricanes left a trail of devastations along the coast, wrecking, causing destructions, chaos, or harm. For example, the storm was wreaking havoc on the coastal town. Majority, the greater number or part of something. The majority of water spotted the new place. NHS stand for National Health Services. The National Health Services is the policy funded health care system of United Kingdom. It provides comprehensive universal health care coverage in all UK residents regardless of their income or social status. Proportion. Proportion is relative size or amount, a relationship between the size, amount, or degree or two or more things. The proportions of men to women in the audience was equal, related to, connected, or associated with something or someone. For example, the new policy is related to the company mission's statements. Exaggerated. Exaggerated is increased or intensity, severity, or seriousness of problem, situations, or conditions. The cold weather exacerbated her arthritis. That second paragraph, we are seeing profound mental health illness stemming from excessive social media use, online bullying, screen addictions, or falling prey to online child sexual exploitations. We are seeing children who are despairing into online worlds, who are unable to sleep, who are increasingly inattentive or impulsive, emotionally dysregulated or aggressive, children crippled by anxiety or a fear of missing out, who spend hours alone cut off from those who love them, who spend hours upon hours speaking to stranger. That important word is profound is that adjective, felt or experienced very strongly in an extreme way. Her mother's death when he was age 6 had a very profound effect on him. Excessive is adjective, exceeding the usual bounds of something extravagant, immoderate. Putting a wide vibrato on a single 16 triplet note in at 116 beats per minute seems rather excessive. Bullying is a noun. Persistent acts intended to make life unpleasant for another person. Bullying is a punishable offense in schools. Addiction is a noun, a state that characterized by compulsive drug use or impulse compulsive engagement in rewarding behaviors despite negative consequences. The state of being addicted, devotions, inclinations. Prey is a noun that which is or may be seized by animal, be devoured. A person or thing given up a victim's. Exploitation is a noun. The act of utilizing something industry. The improper use of something for selfish purpose. Disappearance is noun to the actions of disappearing or vanishing. Inattentive is appertaining of to a lack of attention or paying attention, carelessness. He was inattentive in class and did not do well in his exam. Impulsive is adjective, having the power of driving or impelling, giving an impulsive, moving or impellent. Dysregulate is a verb that to cause or dysfunctional level of an activity or chemical in an organism by disrupting normal functions of regulatory mechanisms. Aggressive is adjective, characterized by aggression, unjustly attacking, prone to behave in a way that involved attacking or arguing. An aggressive policy over person, nations. Cripple is a noun. A person who has severely impaired physical abilities because of deformations, injury, or amputations of part of the body. He returned from were a cripple, cut off to remove via cuttings. Stranger is a noun. A person who does not know a person who is neither a friend nor an acquaintance. The gentleman is a stranger to me. The third paragraph is that children and adolescents are increasingly seeking comfort and validations from peer group online. Unfortunately, unfortunately, some of these cause self-harm, eating and disorder behaviors, and even suicide. I looked after a young person last year who struggled significantly with their mental health and prolific self-harm. I was later informed that they were uploading their experience and behavior on TikTok and had live stream content from with AE departments and an independent psychiatric ward to thousands of followers and well wishers. Comfort is noun that contentment and see. Sleep is comfort with overdue matters. Noun validations the act of validating of something. Peer is verb to look with difficulty as if searching of something. Self harm is a deliberate, non suicidal injuring one on body. Disorder, absence of order, state of not being arranged in an orderly manner. Prolific is fertile, producing offspring or food in abundance. apply to a plants producing fruit, animals producing young, etc. Impatent is a noun, a patient whose treatment needs at the latest one night residence in a hospital or hospitalized patient. Well wisher, someone who extends good wishes or express sympathy to someone else. Children's self-esteem and self-image is also an all-time low, and levels of depression, suicidal thoughts have never been higher. It is no secret among mental health professionals that there is a direct link between the smartphone's use and self-world harms. Self-esteem, confidence in one's own worth, self-respect, an all-time low, a worst or lowest point over recorded and experienced. Real world harm, negative consequences or damage that occur in everyday life. The average UK 12-year-old now spend 29 hours a week, equivalent to a part-time job, on their smartphone to have access to an amount of information they do at such a young age is having a profound impact on their neurological development. Where is the past we might have received a handful ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder refills each week. We are now inundated. Parents cannot get their children to sleep or still sit still. They struggle to concentrate in school, and education has taken an all-time hit. As adults, we see how our attention span has been affected in years since our lives have gone online. I cannot remember the last time I saw someone watch a film without scrolling through their phone or checking their messages. Our brain or changing, and children are not immune to this. That equivalent to accesses to amount of profound neurologicals. Inundated cannot get concentrate in all time. Attention span has been affected, scrolling and immune to that important word. Equivalent is similar or identical in value, meanings or effect, or visually equal. Access is known a way or means of approaching or entering entrance or passage. Amount of quantity or extent of something. Profound is intensely deep or insightful. Neurological relating to the study of nervous system. Handful of a small number or quantity. ADHD stand for attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Refills is a recommendations or endorsement. The doctor gave me a referral to the CA specialist. Inundated is overwhelmed or flooded with something. Concentrate, focus on one attention or mental effort. An all-time hit, extraordinary or lasting popularity or success. Attention span, the length of time someone can focus on something, has been affected. Present perfect continuous tense. This tense is used to describe an action and started in the past and continues up. to the present moment. The focus is on the durations of actions rather than its complications. Scrolling is moving content or text up to down on a screen. Immune to is a resistance or unaffected by something. As a third paragraph, at the same time, our young are increasingly isolated and insular. The average time that teens spend with friends each day has plummeted by 65% since 2010. For thousands of years, for hundreds of years, adolescence has treasured a period of social pact mentality historically that might have been pressure to join a football team or go out with friends, but now this socializing is happening more and more on WhatsApp groups and social media with terrifying consequences. Isolated is not near to other places happening or existing only one separate. Insular, ignorant of, uninterested in culture, ideas or phones outside one on experience. Plummeted is a verb, fall or drop straight down at a high speed. Traged is a bulgars, filled empty handed offer, triggering the alarm. Pack mentality. Pack mentality is also known as a horde mentality, mob mentality, gang mentality. Unlike community buildings, is defined by element of hostility or fear. Might have is used to the past tense to describe something is unlikely to have happened or situations that did not make place. I might have left my phone at home. Pressure upon is a force you produce when you press some things. Go out, leave, to leave a room or building, especially in order to do something for entertainment. Socialize is a verb to spend time when you are not working with friends or with other people in order to enjoy yourself. Terrifying is adjective, very frightening, a terrifying experience or deal. If you have got children, you need to watch Swiped and see how sick their phones are making them. Swiped is a thinner or dating apps to swipe left or right on someone profile indicating interest or disinterest. Sick is adjective unwell or ill, often due to a physical mental health conditions. Making them is a phrase that creating or producing a something for a on behalf of them. She is making them a special dinner for their anniversary. In these closed spaces free from adults oversight, children and can fall down disturbing rabbit holes in clinic. We hear about viral suicide pacts and self-harm challenges are being shared by children as young as 10. For every vulnerable children who may not have many friends in the classroom, endure of being accepted online can feel intoxicating, even if it means a participating in something hugely dangerous. In recent years, there have been numerous high-profile cases of children suicide linked to suicide social media. Most striking in that often their parents have to insight into what is happening before tragedy occurs. That space is known, a limited or a generalized extent, physical or otherwise. Oversight is known, an omission, something that is left out, missed, or forgotten. Fall down, to fall to the ground, to collapse. Rabbit hole is a complicated or confusing problem. Suicide impact, an agreement between two or more individuals to commit suicide together, shared by, owned, or used jointly by two or more individual or group. Vulnerable is susceptible, physical or emotional harm. May not have. Modal verb may is the present tense. Main verb is have is the present perfect tense. May have been expressed uncertainty or possibility about a person, past actions or state. Lure of being something that attracts, tempts someone, often in a subtle or seductive way. Intoxicating, causing a strong feeling of excitement, pleasure, or euphoria, often is to the point of being overwhelming, disorienting. Even if is a subordinative conjunction that introduces a conditional hypothetical clause. Has been is a present perfect continuous tense. This tense describes an action started in the past, continues up to the present moment, may or may not continue to into the future. Numerous is having a large but indefinite number, a quantity that is considerable or abundant, linked to, connected, or associated with something or someone. Striking, attractive, or impressive because of being unusual or distinctive. Occurs is happen or take place. This needs to be watershed a movement. As an advocate for children's mental health, it is clear to me that we are forcing children to grow up long before they are ready. My heart sinks whenever I encounter yet another young person in clinic feeling hopeless about their future, who is deeply embedded in an alternate reality created by their phones. That important word is watershed, a divide or ride that separate who range areas. As an advocate in the role or capacity of a person who publicly supports and defends a particular cause, ideas, or group. Forcing is a compelling or coercing someone to do something against their will. Grow up to increase in size or height as a child and adolescent develop. Sink is to go down or descend below the surface or level. Hopeless is feeling or showing despair, having to hope, expectations, or improvement. Embedded is a physically inserted or attracted into something else, created by, originated, or invented by someone or something. In my own family, I hope I will be able to keep my children away from smartphones and social media until they are at least 16. Our brain continues to develop up until the age of about 25, and prior to that, our ability to think rationally, make decisions based on fact rather than emotion, plan, problems solve, exhibit, and self control is limited. Countless adults struggle to meditate their phones use and maintain productivity, make impulsive purchases online, and fall for many scams out their way, or we accepting our children to cope. Keep way to maintain distance or separations. Continues to keep doing something without stopping. Develop up. Develop can be to grow or extend something. Peer to before something happens or exists. Rationally in a logical, reasonable or sensible manner. Exhibit is a display and show. Self control is the ability to regulate, manage one's thoughts, feeling, or behavior. Meditate verb to resolve difference or to bring about a settlement between conflicting parties. Main productivity to continue producing or consistent rate. Impulsive is adjective having the power of driving or impelling, giving an impulse, moving, impellent. Fall off, fall for an admetic operations to become romantically infatuated or low with someone. Scam out to expose or reveal to scam, to uncover, to make public or deceive or fraudulent scheme. Accepting to look forward or to anticipate something or happening or arriving. To cope, to deal with or manage a difficult situation, emotion or problem. What I am aware of difficult, but this will be if all their friends have access to phone. That is not enough for parents to have make individual choices. As a society, we urgently need to reckon with this problem. Campaigns such as smartphone free childhood are gaining momentum in encouraging parents to take decision and mess for children well-being, but the state must now also intervene. I hope the government wake up to what is happening to our young people and takes this tough decision out of our hands. Access is the main or opportunity to approach, use, enjoy something in of sufficient quantity or degree as much as is needed or wanted. To have possessions. To possessions are on something. I have a car. Individual choices, decisions or selecting made by a person. Reckon with to consider or deal with something or someone. Gaining. Gaining obtaining or acquiring something such as knowledge, skills and possessions. Momentum is a product of an object, mass and velocity measuring its tendency to keep moving. Mass for mass as a measure of the amount of matter in an object. Intervene is to take actions or get involved in situations, influence or outcome or prevent something from happening. Wakes up to become conscious or aware of, often sleeping or being consciousness. She wakes up every morning at 6 a.m. So repeats the article. Smartphone use among children has reached a critical moment. Many of us in the UK are increasingly aware of the danger associated with them. And as a child and adolescent psychiatric, I am more worried than most. I am witnessing as firsthand the sheer devastation that smartphone use is wreaking is one over young people's mental health. The majority of children over 10 I see at my NHS clinic now have a smartphone. An increasingly large proportion of patients have difficulties that are related to or exacerbated by their use of technology. We are seeing profound mental illness stemming from excessive social media use, online bullying, screen addictions, or falling prey to online child sexual exploitation. We are seeing children who are disappearing into online worlds who are unable to sleep, who are increasingly inattentive or impulsive, emotionally dysregulated, and aggressive. Children crippled by anxiety or fear of missing out, who spend hours alone, cut off from those who love them, who spend hour upon hour speaking to strangers. Children and adolescents are increasingly seeking comfort and validation from peers groups online. Unfortunately, one of these encourages self-harm, eating disorder behaviors, and even suicide. I looked after a young person last year who struggled significantly with their mental health and prophetic self-esteem. I was later informed that they were uploading their experience and behavior on TikTok and had a live stream content from with AE departments and an impatient psychiatric. World 2000 of followers and well wishers. Children's self esteem and self image is also an all time low, and levels and depressions and suicidal thoughts have never been higher. It is no secret among mental health professionals that there is a direct link between smartphone and use and real world harms. The average UK 12 years old now spend 29 hours a week, equivalent to a part-time jobs, want their smartphone to have access to the amount of information they do at such a young age is having a profound impact on their neurological development. Where is the past we might have received a handful ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity order refuse each week? We are no inundated. Parents cannot get their children to sleep or still sit still. They struggle to concentrate in school and education who has taken in an all-time hit, and adults we see how our attention span over has been affected in the years since our life have gone online. I cannot remember at the last time I saw one watch a film without scrolling through a phone or checking their message. Our brain are changing, and children are not immune to this. At the same time, our young peoples are increasingly isolated and insular. The average time that the teens spend with friends each day has plummeted by 65% since 2010. For hundreds of years, adolescence has trudged a period of social pack mentality historically that might have made pressure to join a football team to go out with friends. But now this socializing is happening more and more on WhatsApp groups and social media with terrifying consequences. If you have got children, you need to watch Spide and see how sick their phones are making them in these closed spaces free from adults' oversight. Children can fall down disturbing rabbit holes. In clinic, we hear about viral suicide pact and self-harm challenges being shared by children as young as 10. For every vulnerable children, you may not have many friends in the classroom, and lure of being accepted online can feel intoxicating even if it means participating in something hugely dangerous. In recent years, there have been numerous high-profile cases of suicide linked to social media, most striking in that often their parents have to insight into what is happening before tragedy occurs. This needs to be a watershed amount. As an advocate for children's mental health, it is clear to me that we are forcing children to grow up long before they are ready. My heart sinks whenever I encounter yet another young person in clinic feeling hopeless about their future, who is deeply embedded in an alternative reality created by their phone. In my own family, I hope I will be able to keep my children to away from smartphones and social media until they are at least 16. Our brain continues to develop up until the age of about 25, and prior to that our ability to think rationally, make decisions based on rather than emotion, plan, problem solve, and exhibit self-control is limited. Countless adults struggle to meditate their phone use and maintain productivity, make impulsive purchases online, and fall for the many scams out there. Why they are accepting children to cope, but I am aware of difficult that will be if all their friends have access to one. That is why it is enough. That is why it is enough to parent to have make individual choices. As a society, we urgently need to reckon with this problem. Campaigns such as smartphone free childhood are gaining a momentum in encouraging parents to take decisions en masse for their children's well-being. But the state must now also intervene. I hope the government wake up to what is happening to our young people and takes these tough decisions out of our hands. So please subscribe this channel and share, and so welcome very much.